Warning, the topics and mentions in this post touches upon mental conditions and health that may be sensitive to some. Meet the Grahams is a direct hit between the eyes and heart. Drake would never admit the potency of this song, hence why he has such hyper focus on Not Like Us, saying kdot called him a PDF. Any person with decent 6th to 8th grade reading comprehension would know Kendrick didn't outright call Drake a PDF. Wow. I digress. That's a topic for another day. Now, we've witnessed someone people consider a megastar, and Drake was, in terms of numbers, and I guess if you are a delusional Drake fan, lyrically, via hip-hop. We witnessed him be broken down to the knees mentally, with his heart beating faster, palpitating, I should say, more when he found out the song dropped and when he finished listening to it. I wouldn't be surprised he sat in silence for a while with some of his team flanked around him, in shock, with a slew of questions and statements flooding his mind initially because he's self-centered, like, what the fuck? I just dropped Family Matters. I nuked this motherfucker. How did he know when to drop? Where the fuck is my drink? How does he know about radio edit? How does he know about the radio edit? This is my win. He just ruined the only song I had left. And I bet there was more, but I don't think the mention of his family bothered him as much as he wants people to think it did. Okay, so probably his mother a little bit. Drake, who went after different artists, families, and his songs, finally received his comeuppance in the form of a pure dissection from the one, Kendrick Lamar. So I'd like to dig into the lyrics that stood out a bit to me. I'm sorry that man is your father, let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man, yet dad is not responsive. The first lines of the song were cutting. In fact, their Adonis alone was bad enough. However, telling Adonis that his father isn't a man, not even responding as one, is rough. From what people have been seeing from Drake for a while, this seems to be true. Even from the start of the beef until now, 2025 of January, we are still seeing a man-child at play. And mind you, when I did my blog, this was in January of last year, okay? I am now recording the video for this, quote-unquote video for this, okay? The audio. Adonis's generation will watch and see everything that has happened even before now, and sadly, Adonis is probably living his life dealing with it, and with a man who can't even grow up enough to leave a rap beef alone. Who knows what he sees and hears and what's normalized around him? Aside from that, very scathing lyrics that are so simply worded and said as if speaking gently to a child sitting next to him at a public park, with the evidence of the boy's misdeeds everywhere. So think about that. The next set of lyrics: don't cut them corners like your daddy did. Fuck what Ozempic did. Now, I always thought this was an interesting lyric, not for the obvious Ozempic line. I thought it was interesting that kdot said did twice. I told my guy it was weird for Dot to say that twice, and it came off like lazy writing when we both knew Dot is not that dude. After a while, it came to me what I think Dot was alluding to, and this is what I think it is. I think Kendrick is saying Drake suffers from DID. Now, let me explain. DID is a dissociative identity disorder. It's a mental health condition in which a person has multiple personalities. Some of the symptoms are connected to your emotions, mood shifting, memory gaps, flashbacks, having more than one person in your head, etc. So when Dot says to Adonis, don't cut them corners like your daddy did, It's so ruthless because what did Drake do? He utilized a whole other persona, becoming someone from the Caribbean, Jamaican usually, to appeal to certain demographics, speaking in patois, singing dancehall music, even installing some of this in his pop and hip hop tracks, by the way, and have made millions from this. To add to this, he has no respect for black people, even though he is one, and none for Caribbean folks. Has that man ever spent more than 3 months in Africa in his entire lifetime yet? Like in Benin, Togo, or Ivory Coast, or Ghana, South Africa, Angola, Chad, Zimbabwe, etc. Not no friggin' Egypt or the islands that border Africa. I ain't talking about that. He has also become Latin and English Drake, London and Brixton. Drake is more he's London and Brixton Drake. That's the other part of him, and has made millions being those personas as well. Another persona Drake likes to be is Gangsta Drake. This seems to be his favorite persona. All the flexing he seems to do on songs and allegedly in real life, and what may seem to get him in trouble. He emphasized mob ties in his songs a great deal, when Aubrey was never this person. In fact, Aubrey isn't this person at all. One must wonder if Aubrey even knows who he is, and if he even likes himself, and that's why he co-opts these personalities. When he is around Caucasians, he speaks like Aubrey from Canada, like himself. So in essence, Kendrick is basically saying Drake can't be himself and sell records. I know DID is very serious and should be taken seriously, and no, I didn't put a full-on definition of everything that's under its umbrella. I think Kendrick was generalizing with this. So next set of lyrics. Ozempic got a side effect of jealousy, and doctor never told y'all niggas. Now, this, I decided to pull from Family Matters. This guy. So, and why I decided to pull this from Family Matters on purpose. So I'm going to explain. Another thing that was telling was Drake pointing out Rick Ross's supposed use of the Ozempic and the side effects of jealousy. Kendrick reverses the sad retort on Ross in such a clever way with using the DID angle because, well, how would Drake know this? We all clearly saw MTG single was released that Drake is prescribed this medication. Also, it is well known that the medication does have severe side effects that causes anxiety, suicidal thoughts, depression, mood swings, and so on. Dot showed not only how hypocritical Drake is for saying someone is using a medication he may or may not know what Rick Ross is using, that he is using, I'm just saying that he may or may not know Rick Ross is using it. But Dot showed not only how much of a hypocrite Drake is for saying someone is using a medication, that he himself is using, but he also has mood swings. His continuous woe is me songs, all because he's always the victim, but he is also a very jealous person himself. For example, there's Serena and Alexis, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's relationship, or anyone with solid families, etc. And we can go on and on and on with the subject. And again, this will happen on another day. And it definitely will. Next set of lyrics. Don't be ashamed about who you with. That's how he treats your moms. Don't have a kid, to hide again, be sure. Kdot's continuing to teach Adonis how to be a responsible human being, even if they are in an industry that would otherwise be frowned upon, and he's also letting him know his father's ashamed of his mother. I find it interesting that Dot ensures Adonis understands this, as well as understand that he was hidden from the world, allegedly like the potential siblings he may have. And if he, Adonis, finds himself with women who may be pregnant and say they have his children, he should make sure to get a paternity test. And if they're his children, handle his responsibilities like a man. I could imagine Drake being pissed at this point, but I'm sure his eyes widen for obvious reasons, assumedly. The next set of lyrics. Dear Dennis, you gave birth to a master manipulator. Jeez, this line is just raw. It doesn't say Sandra gave birth to Aubrey, but Dennis. He assumedly created the character that is Drake. And he doesn't say his name here, but instead describes both Aubrey/Drake and Dennis at the same time, which in the next few lines of the song, Dot explains why Drake should be paying Dennis, the person that quote-unquote birthed him, more for using him. The next set of lyrics. Or better yet, selling your niece to the weirdos, not the good ones. This lyric nagged me. I looked up songs pertaining to Drake called Good Ones and found a similar name track with The Weeknd and Drake. I think Dot saying not the good ones was a slick way of backing The Weeknd, considering Drake had shit to say to him as well during the beef. Also, The Weeknd is a huge part as to why the album Take Care from Drake was a huge success. Lyrics for this song is also a bit interesting, but judge for yourself. I also searched Weirdos, Drake, on Google, and the song Another Late Night by Drake pops up with lyrics. I also think those lyrics deserve a good read as well. And I'm going to continue because I'm, just clear my throat on that one. I think people should read that as well. Moving on. They looking at you too if you standing by him. I think the feds are purportedly watching. This is also why Drake allegedly doesn't want to touch the song at all, or even 616 in LA, which is full of things only Drake and certain individuals would know. For example, Academic's reaction on his live stream comes to mind, by the way. Okay? So he doesn't want to touch the landmines he considers these songs, which is odd because if you are innocent, there wouldn't be a lawsuit and none of this would be an issue, and a loss would be a loss. Anyways, people who supposedly continue to stay around Drake, feds will wonder, and we'll delve into their personal business affairs. Just how they work. Next set of alerts. His father probably didn't claim him either. I thought this was a great line because Kendrick makes it known that he doesn't know everything. When speaking to quote-unquote baby girl, he lets her know that there was a likelihood that Dennis wasn't claiming Aubrey as his son. And this could be one of the many reasons, allegedly, why he doesn't claim the many children, including baby girl in his life. Hence, prolly. I don't know. Kdot also makes another cultural reference here with prolly, since it is a variant of probably, and it's a southern word. I saw Texas on one website, very African American. Also makes me wonder if this is a clue. Could, allegedly, the mother of the child might be from the South? Kind of eyeing Florida, but I don't know. Moving on. Next set of lyrics. And a fucking deadbeat that should never say more life. Kendrick is ruthless here. And it was more than the album name mentioned. It's the meaning of more life and why Drake names the album that. More life is a Jamaican phrase to wish someone well. This was also made popular by Vybz Kartel, who's a dancehall artist Drake is fond of. So Dot is not only saying Drake shouldn't fix his lips to say such words because, let's face it, the literal words of more life when Drake allegedly seem to bring young ones into the world and don't claim them, in the slang terms, cares for only self. So who the fuck is he wishing well? Lastly, the culture vulture part of it, which is synonymous with Drake's character to this point, him once again unable to be himself and acting like a vampire by sucking musical resources from Jamaicans. Next set of lyrics. I know you're probably thinking I wanted to crash your party. Diabolical. Listen, Drake had to have been not only beyond furious at this bar, but his shoulders slumped. If any of his ops and or friends, quote unquote, were there, he had to have been looking at everyone suspiciously. It also makes me wonder something. Did Drake have an actual small celebration thinking he won the beef over Kendrick? That would be hilarious if there was a celebratory party after Family Matters dropped. Kendrick leaving Aubrey last on the song to rain on what he thought was his victory parade. So presumptuous of him, by the way. Was very clever and a mindfuck. There is no way this lyric didn't heighten Drake's paranoia and his fury. One would think Kenny was standing outside Drake's window watching Drake's every move, but we know that's not what happened. Kendrick was like the proverbial superhero that came in and ruined the bad guy's sinister plans. Right on time. And, you know, you guys are going to see a picture, it's probably already up, but you guys are going to see a picture where I think, yes, you're going to see in the background where there's a few, I think, items in the background there where when Drake had posted after this had dropped, he posted a picture. And yeah, Kendrick did indeed ruin a party. And I don't think anybody pointed it out. It's very funny. But anyway, next set of lyrics. But truthfully, I don't have a hating bone in my body. I want to quickly speak on this line because I saw a lot of reactors on YouTube smirk and or react to this in a way that called bullshit on Kendrick. I think this line is misunderstood. Kendrick says in the beginning to Aubrey, you probably thinking I wanted to crash your party, and afterwards said, but you fucked up the moment you called out my family's name. Dot is letting Aubrey know he wasn't a person who carried hate until Drake decided to go the route he went, even after being warned twice not to go there. I also think there is more to this line which circles back to what I have mentioned in my Family Ties post. It's more than Drake merely mentioning Dot's family in a rap beef. Just saying, people gotta pay attention. Next set of lyrics. Just disrespecting your mother. I'm pointing out this lyric because a tiny part of me has wondered what began Drake and Dot's falling out. Before the song dropped, I told my guy that Drake comes off like the kind of dude that is demanding a root to his mother and takes her for granted. Dot could have seen and or heard interactions Drake had with his mother, thus beginning the proverbial side-eye of disapproval from kdot. From the outside looking in, Sandra was the constant in Aubrey's life, the person who was there physically and quite possibly indulged him a bit too much. Aubrey comes off certainly spoiled and entitled. However, for all I know, this lyric is probably a lot more layered than I think. The next lyric, take that mask off. Sounds familiar? If you listen to Tyler the Creator, you'll understand. Not much of a scavenger hunt, but find the song pertaining to Tyler and listen to it after listening to Meet the Grahams. No further explanation required on this. The next one. You lied about your daughter, huh? The recent album from Dot, GNX, brought me back to this line. On the song Reincarnated, one of the most profoundly heart-wrenching songs that has Kendrick embodying Tupac's cadence for much of the song. Side note, and it was also a perfectly timed clapback to Drake's putrid, tailor-made freestyle where Drake uses AI technology to embody Tupac and Snoop to diss kdot. Okay. Dot says, my instincts sent material straight to the charts, huh? Which I'm equating the huhs at the ends of these particular statement-esque bars as if he was dared, or that he knows a secret or a lie that the other person or persons he may be addressing would know. For the reincarnated lyrics I posted here, it was as if people doubted Kendrick's ability to stay true to his aesthetic himself with the lyrics he created and chart on music lists. And he proved those individuals very wrong by trusting himself and his art. So when he states that Aubrey lied about his daughter and adds, huh, Kendrick is letting Aubrey know that he knows that he's lying. Or that he knows and that he's lying about her and has been doing so. Who knows how long Dot knew about this? I get the sense that many people in the industry purportedly do. I don't think all huhs in Kendrick songs are created equal though. Just saying. My final thoughts. I do find it ironic though. Uma Thurman sending Drake that pic of Beatrix solely up against the Crazy 88s, or the Crazy 88 in the movie Kill Bill, like he was being bullied. However, Kendrick spoke to Adonis the way Beatrix Kiddo did Vernita Green's daughter, Nikki Bell, after, and I will say spoiler alert, give you some time to go, run, whatever. Spoiler alert, Beatrix killed Vernita and Nikki walked in the kitchen afterwards. Beatrix had a short but real heart-to-heart with her amongst the carnage and her mother's body. Go figure. This song is perfect, which is what I think about all the songs released from Kendrick and this beef. I think they're all perfect. Drake may never take a therapist and or therapy seriously, but I wouldn't be surprised if he listens to quick snippets of the song on some days because he purely can't help himself. I'm leaving that statement very open-ended, but I do hope you all understand what I mean, especially if by now you have some understanding of Aubrey's character. So I said Kendrick broke him down to his knees, not like us took the rest of Drake's legs and feet, and then his soul. Comment, share, and or subscribe. This is Welchless Thinking. If you even have the abilities to hype up the video, do so. I'm thanking all my thinkers out there. I'm very happy to have, more subscribers. I want to give really great quick shout outs to all my new thinkers. Treble Latrice 926, Fendos Santos, Joshua Wilkerson, and MJ. Very, very happy. I can't see everybody. I wish I could. Some are privated from the looks of it, but thank you. I'm hoping this year I can grow a little bit more. Honestly, I would love more people to be on the blog. More than anything, it would be much more cooler. I feel like YouTube is so packed with so many individuals on the space. I think that's what it is. So, but anywho, check out, I just posted my Port Antonio blog. Well, it's not called Port Antonio, but check out my blog on the Cole conspiracy with J. Cole. That is a great read. I'm not gonna be putting up the video for that as of yet. Soon enough, it's gonna come. I have so much going on. So, but thank you for the support, everybody. I will talk to you guys soon. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm wishing everybody the best. Stay safe.